It was a Monday morning. Children were laughing. The schoolyard buzzed with energy. And then gunfire. Shots rang out from across the street. Chaos erupted. A principal lay dying. A custodian trying to help shot. Children ran for their lives. The shooter? Not a masked man. Not a stranger. A 16-year-old girl, perched at her bedroom window with a .22 rifle. And when asked why she did it, she shrugged and said, "I don't like Mondays." This is a chilling case of Brenda Spencer, and the massacre that changed how we look at school shootings forever. This is Whispers of Crime. January 29th, 1979. Grover Cleveland Elementary School in San Diego, California was waking up to another week. Teachers unlocked classroom doors. Children trickled into the courtyard, their backpacks bouncing. It was the innocence of a new day. Across the street, Brenda Spencer sat in her modest home, her father asleep in another room. She loaded her Ruger 10-20 semi-automatic rifle, a Christmas gift from her father just weeks earlier. Brenda opened her window, propped the barrel on the sill, took aim, and began to shoot. She didn't hesitate. Within seconds, Principal Burton Ragg ran outside, trying to shepherd children to safety. He was shot, killed on the spot. Mike Sucher, the school custodian, rushed to help. He was gunned down too. Children scattered, screamed, hit the ground. Some were hit. Police arrived quickly, but they didn't know where the shots were coming from until someone noticed a flash from the small house across the street. A teenage girl firing from her window. It wasn't a standoff. It was a nightmare. For hours, Brenda exchanged fire with officers. Then, just as suddenly, she surrendered. And what she said when asked why shocked the entire world. Brenda Spencer was the last person anyone suspected. She had long red hair, a shy smile. Teachers called her intelligent, artistic, and gifted in photography. But beneath that was something darker. Brenda lived with her father in a rundown house filled with beer cans, old newspapers, and mattresses on the floor. Her parents were divorced. Her mother had moved out. And Brenda? She slept on the couch. Neighbors said she was quiet, odd, always alone. She hated school, hated mornings, hated people. Weeks before the shooting, she told classmates she wanted to do something big to get on the news. No one believed her. She was just a kid, just another misfit. Until that Monday morning, when she made the world listen. When the news broke, it was surreal. A teenage girl, a sniper, killing adults, wounding children. Her reason? She said, "I don't like Mondays. This livens up the day." The quote became infamous. Newspapers plastered it across headlines. A journalist who interviewed her over the phone during the standoff had asked, "Why are you doing this?" And that was her reply. Flat, emotionless. It wasn't just chilling, it was incomprehensible. The randomness, the detachment, the banality of her explanation. This wasn't a political act. It wasn't revenge. It was boredom. But was it really just that simple? As Brenda's past came under microscope, so did the cracks in her story. She had been absent from school frequently, labeled as truant, diagnosed with depression, had attempted suicide multiple times. A former teacher said she had once drawn a picture of a school surrounded by flames. She had told classmates she wanted to shoot policemen. She had even been evaluated by a counselor months before the shooting who concluded she needed to be hospitalized for depression. But no action was taken. And then there was the rifle. Her father had bought it for her, along with 500 rounds of ammunition. When asked why he gave a clearly troubled teenager a semi-automatic weapon, he simply replied, "She asked for it." Brenda would later say she hoped police would kill her, that it was supposed to be suicide by cop. But they didn't. They arrested her, alive. And a trial followed that would force the country to reckon with a terrifying question. Can evil look like a teenage girl? Brenda was charged with 2 counts of murder and multiple counts of assault with a deadly weapon. Because she was 16, prosecutors had to fight to have her tried as an adult. She eventually pled guilty to avoid the death penalty. In court, her demeanor was blank. No tears, no remorse, Her attorneys argued that she was mentally ill, that she had been abused, that she was failed by the system. But the families of the victims saw only cold-blooded murder. Principal Burton Ragg left behind a grieving widow. Custodian Mike Such, a man known for handing out candy to the kids, was dead for doing his job. 8 children were wounded. Brenda was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. And the debate began. Was she a monster or a symptom? In prison, Brenda Spencer remained mostly out of sight. But in rare interviews, she revealed more. She claimed her father had physically and sexually abused her. She said the rifle had been a message, that he didn't care if she lived or died. She described hallucinations, voices, and admitted she wanted to die that day. But no substantial evidence ever supported the abuse claims. Her father denied it all. And still, every few years, Brenda came up for parole. She was denied, again and again. As of today, she remains behind bars, now in her 60s, still known as a schoolgirl who didn't like Mondays. The ripple effects of that morning still echo. Grover Cleveland Elementary School eventually closed. The families never fully healed. The phrase, "I don't like Mondays," became more than a quote. It became a warning. Brenda Spencer was one of the earliest school shooters in U.S. history. And since then, we've seen the pattern repeat. Columbine, Sandy Hook, Parkland, and each time we ask, could this have been prevented? Were there signs? Is it mental illness? Is it access to guns? Is it something deeper in our culture? Brenda's case doesn't provide easy answers, but it does demand we ask the questions, because behind every tragedy like this is a chain of decisions. Someone who didn't intervene, someone who ignored the red flags, someone who handed a teenager a rifle, and a system that didn't stop her. Even now, when you hear the audio of the 911 calls from that day, you feel it. The fear, the disbelief, the heartbreak, tiny voices screaming in the background, adults trying to make sense of the unthinkable. A little girl, aged 9, said, "Why would someone want to shoot us? We didn't do anything." And that's what makes Brenda Spencer's case so terrifying. It wasn't targeted. It wasn't rational. It was random violence, wrapped in teenage apathy, with a chilling lack of regret. A perfect storm. Today, the house Brenda fired from still stands. But the windows are different. The laughter across the street is gone. What remains is a memory, a tragedy, a warning, and the sobering knowledge that violence doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes, it looks like a lonely girl in a bedroom window. What do you think really happened? Was Brenda Spencer a born killer? Or a broken soul who snapped? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you want more stories like this one, subscribe to Whispers of Crime, where silence ends and the shadows speak.